Hello and welcome to this Wednesday workshop live session. What we're going to look at today are headsets. So for those of you that don't know, headsets are the bearings that allow the fork to turn. So what I'm going to run through are the different types of forks that you use and the different types of bearings and the different types of frame types. And these are all designed, and the things I'm going to show you are all designed Bamboo Bicycle Club standard kits, which are all designed around standard bicycle setup. So some of this will be applicable for everyone, and some of it is for people building at home. But to start off, if you're just joining, you've had a long day at work, sit back and relax, and I'm going to have a beer. So for those of you that have followed our Workshop Wednesday series, I've shown how good bamboo is as a cup and waterproof. So I'm just going to pour my beer into this bamboo. And we've got Electric Boogaloo by Tiny Rebel. And it's a passion fruit IPA. So it's a bit of a fruity one. But we're coming into summer now. So start to enjoy the different lighter beers. So if you're just joining, thank you for joining. We're going to be talking about headsets. Welcome. Okay, so what I've done for everyone at home is when you get your headset at home, people get really excited with packaging. The first thing you do is you open it up as quickly as you can and you start to unpack it. When you unpack a headset, if you're not familiar with them, just take your time. Just go slowly. So when you open the packaging, like so, what I always do is the larger bearing, I split, so I know that's the bottom, and the upper bearing is the top, and all the bits that go with that, okay? And what I've done is I'm going to talk to you about tapered headsets first, okay? So I've laid all this out for you. Okay, all of these parts here make up the top part of the headset, and all of these parts make the bottom part. So the top being the parts that go up here, and the bottom the parts going up here. If you mix these parts up and they come in the headset as two separate parts, it can get really confusing. So the first thing is to split the top and the bottom parts separate so you know what you're doing. So we're going to look at the tapered. Now, for those of you that don't know, there are different types of headset, and they are determined by two things: the frame type and the fork you're using, okay? So, if you're using a fork like this, which is a disc fork, you'll notice that this part of the fork is wider, and that's known as a taper, and it's a 1.5, so it's a wider bearing. And if you're using like a more old school fork, you'll notice that the base here is a lot smaller. So this is a non-tapered. So that's one thing to think about. The first thing is pick the right fork. So if you're using a disc or so on, the majority of forks are tapered, okay? And therefore, if you need a tapered fork, you need to make sure that the frame you're using will also work with a tapered fork. And that means that the bearing size will fit into your frame. Now, if you're using a Bamboo Bicycle Club kit, both our flax kit and our lugged carbon kit, they're fully compatible with a tapered bearing and an integrated like this, where it's thinner. So if you're building with a Bamboo Bicycle Club, all you need to do is make sure that you get the right headset. So if you're building with the lugged one, it's got tapered bearings that fit straight in, and it will fit in like that. So if you can't see there, it's got all the races inside, and that just slides in. If you're building with a flax build, we supply 44mm, and a large bearing cup will fit in, and it will be compatible with an integrated and a tapered. So I'm going to start off with a tapered and how you fit a tapered headset first. And I'm going to show you, and I'm going to take each piece off here and I'm going to fit it into this piece here. And imagine this is a complete bike frame. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this large bearing and this race here. And these are going to fit onto the fork, okay? So I'm going to take these off, like so. And these are the bottom bearings. So the larger diameter pieces, like so. First off, I'm going to fit this black ring. And this is going to slide over the fork like that, okay? And that's fitted in flush. Next thing I'm going to do is put the large bearing and slide that down onto the fork like so. So that's the bottom bearing done. The next parts are from the top, okay? All these elements. Some of them I'm going to use, some of them I won't. The first thing I'm going to do is select the bearing, which is this piece here. So that bearing there. And I'm going to slide that inside of this face here, like so. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select this small ring here, okay? And what this ring does is it has a little split in. So if you can see it there, try and show you there. And that will go over the fork and it will keep it all central. So that's going to go in next, okay? Like so. And then what's going to happen is the fork is going to slide onto this, like so. If you're on an actual bike, it's a little bit easier. And that just slides in, like so, okay? So you can see I fit that in. We've got the race in there, and we've got the bearing fitting in there. So that's just slid on, and that's a tapered one. The next thing I'm going to do is take the weather seal, which is this one here, that will seal off the top, and it's known as the top cap. That will slide on here, like so, and that just slides on. Might take a little bit of force. That slides over, and that will seal that there. And the final step will be spacers. So I've got some spacers here, and that will determine the height of the handlebars that fits there. And that is that all installed, okay? And that's with a sealed bearing setup. So you've got the large bearing at the bottom. I'll just open that back up. So we've got the large bearing at the bottom and the race that goes around the fork, like so. That slides into the frame. We've got the other bearing there that goes into the frame, like so. Then we've got the spacers here that slides in here. And then we've got the top cap that seals it. And then you can put as many spacers on as you want, depending how high you want the stem to be. And then the final step, if you've got a carbon steerer, is you insert this into here and tighten that up, okay? So that is a tapered headset on our lugged carbon frame. Okay, so that's how you fit it. So I'll take that all apart and put that back on my chart there. So if you're just joining, I'm explaining headsets, and I've just shown how to fit a tapered headset onto our lug kit with a tapered fork. So I'll take all those parts off there. Whenever you take a headset apart, make sure you don't lose any of the bits, okay? Just be really careful. The next thing I'm going to show, so that's a standard tapered fit. The next thing I'm going to show is how to fit it into our 44mm. So say you've got our 44 standard kit, I'm going to show you exactly how you fit a tapered bearing headset into this, okay? I just need to get another part. So, the first step you're going to do is you're going to take these cups, these bearing cups like this, and they're going to fit inside of here like so. So they're going to provide the bearing cups. And what I tend to do is I just take a mallet and I just knock that in, okay? And then the other one is going to go underneath like so. So it's a larger cup So this is standard, it's called a 44mm tapered headset. So that's going to fit in underneath, like so. And you can use a press for this. So I've just lightly fitted that in, and you can use a bearing press then just to press that in. Then we're going to take a bearing for the top and fit that in the top. Same setup as the tapered. We're going to use the small silver part here, like so. The weather cap, like so. And then again, all of this will then slide over the tapered fork. Okay, so that slides in, like so, bearing over there. Okay. So that is how you fit a tapered setup to a 44mm tube. Okay, so the 44 is really good because it's compatible with 100% of fork types. Okay, and then you've got your spacers that go in there, like so. So that is how you set up the headset for our standard kit, for a tapered fork. Okay, I'll take this all apart. So if you're just joining us, I'm showing how to fit headsets, okay? So I'm trying to break it all down for you guys so you understand a little bit further how headsets are fitted. There's loads of information on this and you can research it, but what I'm showing is how to fit in a standard bamboo bicycle kit, how you fit a tapered, and I'm going to show you how you fit an integrated bearing system using a regular straight fork. So for those of you who didn't see, that's a tapered, so it's got a wider base and the integrated is flatted here. So tapered's there, we've done the tapered, and I'm just going to briefly show you guys how to fit an integrated. So if you just join me, have a sip of beer, relax. And if you've got questions and comments, we do keep an eye on this. So if you're watching afterwards, just add a comment. And if you've got any questions about our kits or how to build, or if you're stuck at home doing a headset, just get in touch and we can make sure that you get the right headset. So you buy the right one, or we can supply it with our part packs. And we can talk you through how you install it. But hopefully this has shown you a little bit of an insight of how you fit. It's not a complex thing. It's extremely simple to fit a headset. It's just knowing the steps and how to do it. Okay, so we've done the tapered, and now I'm going to show you an integrated. So that's for our 44mm standard home build kit. So I've got the bearings here. I'll just knock this out. I will get another 44mm. Got another 44 there. So this is our standard head tube that comes with our kit. Okay, so the next step is I've got all the integrated and I've put them all on a chart, and we've got the top here and the bottom. Whenever you're building at home and you open that packet, you'll see the bearings either side, split them. And then you know what the top parts are and what the bottom parts are. And when you fit a headset, don't rush it. Lay all the pieces out, be organised, be prepared, and it's super, super simple. If you open things up, throw things everywhere, if you lose any parts, and you can see for a simple thing, there's quite a few parts. So just get organised. And so just lay things out and make sure that you have everything. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fit these bearing cups. So these two cups here, and what these do is they hold these bearings here. So I'll take these off, like so, and they are just going to slide in to the 44mm. I'm going to use a mallet just to tap these. Okay, and I'll do the same on the other side. You can just push these in with your hands, but it just saves a little bit of time. And we manufacture all our own tubes, so the tolerance of these is really good. So it's really easy to fit. And because they're all made on CNC lathe, the face is really well faced. And because when you're building a bamboo bicycle, you're not using heat or you're not putting in an oven or anything like that, you don't get any distortion in the aluminium. So the bearing face is all ready to go. So you don't need to use a ream or anything else. It's all squared up, ready to go. Okay, so I've put my bearing cups in, so top and bottom. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the two bearings and I'm going to fit those in as well, top and bottom. Okay, so 1, 2, like so. So just pop that in there. So that's going to slide in like that. So you can see the bearing, hopefully there. So I'll just do one side. And then the next thing I'm going to do is this bottom piece here. It's going to slide over here and it's going to create a face for the bearing to slide on. So I'm going to take this bottom cup and this is going to slide over onto the fork. So that's going to slide down over there and then it will land in here. And what that will do is it will provide a race for the bearing to turn nicely on the fork. So it creates a space. So I've done that. So that will fit there. The next step is similar to the other one. We've got a spacer that will allow everything to be central. So we're going to take this piece next, and that will slide in there. And then now that fork is now ready to fit through. So we'll slide that fork through, pop the spacer on, and that fits through. Imagine that's the rest of the frame here. So this is just the head tube I'm showing. Then we're going to take the weather seal. So we'll take the weather seal here, which is this piece here. Take that off, and that's going to slide over here. Little bit of a bang. There we are. And slides over. And that just seals all of that against the weather. Okay, so you can see that. The final step will be to add the spacers. 1, 2, 3. And then if you want to, you can cut this off or you can leave it high. Your stem goes over that and then you can insert an expander inside of here and that holds it all together. And what I'll do is I'll very briefly, I'll just show you how this is all fitted together as well, this frame here. So I'm just going to grab an Allen key. So, all the bearings we've used, they're all sealed, and I'll talk you through that next. But I'm just going to, so I've run through the two different systems, and I'm just going to show you that on a bike, just so you can have an idea of what goes on in a bit more detail. So, we've got the top cap here, and that will compress the bearings together, like so. So that's here. So we'll lift this off here. So that's the top cap, okay, that expander. I'm going to loosen the stem off here, so either side, loosen the stem, like so. And then that stem is just going to pull up. Just make sure it's all loose. And the fork is going to come out completely. Like so, okay. Spacer there, so that's your spacer, and that's just setting the height of the stem. And then we've got the weather cap next, so that's the weather cap. We've got the top bearing there with the race there, so this small part here, so that's the top part. And as we pull out, we've got all the bearing, so the large bearing in the bottom with the space. So that's all the setup there that I've been explaining. The other thing you'll notice is that a lot of people will add grease and so on. What you'll see is these bearings here are all sealed. So there's a little seal here and there's grease all inside of there. So these all come pre-greased. So I'd always recommend using a sealed bearing, okay? So if you're going to buy bearings, just make sure you buy a sealed one because it's a lot easier. You don't need to put loads of grease into the headset. These are all pre-sealed, pre-waterproof bearings. Don't buy any bearings unless they're sealed, and these are a lot more of a modern bearing. If you're buying a really cheap headset, you're going to need lots of grease, but if you're using these ones and you can see the seal on them, they're a lot better. Okay, so hopefully that's given you a little bit of an introduction into headsets and hopefully made things a little bit simpler for you at home if you're building a kit, to give you a bit more confidence of how you fit one into a lugged one and then our standard 44mm. And if you're not sure and this hasn't helped, just get in touch and we'll recommend exactly what headset you need for your home build kit. And we can also talk you through the process and make sure that the fitting is super simple. But it's a simple process to do. It's just following the steps and making sure when you open that packet, you take your time. So if you've enjoyed this session, have a look back at some of our old videos where we show frame building, we show, how to do other types of component fittings. And each one of our Workshop Wednesdays is a little bit varied. So this one is just about headsets, another might be about bamboo. So there's something for everyone. So have a look through our old videos, and we'll have another video in the next 2 weeks where we'll cover a new topic. So do tune in, and I really appreciate everyone tuning into this. And this was all about headsets and how to fit them into our lugs, our pre-lugged kit, which is this one, and our standard 44mm head tube. And these are parts that come with the bamboo kit and they allow you to fit any type of fork. So thank you ever so much for tuning in, and any questions or comments, let us know and we will get back to you in the comments. Thanks very much. Bye for now.